Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night to you wherever you may be. I am Sam. This is my channel, By Hook or By Needles. Today, I just want to do a little bit of a catch up. It's got a bit dark, hasn't it? Let's get some light on the matter. I hope that's enough light. It's hard to tell. I thought I'd give you a little bit of an update. Two updates. One is right here, and I'm just going to come out a little bit. That's better. This is this little fellow here. He is celebrating the, I think it's a Hindu festival, or Hindi, however they do say that. And he is covered in powder paint bursts of colour because it's a festival where they throw powdered paint at each other. I don't know if they then get hosed down and the powder turns to paint or what. I'm not entirely sure. But the festival is called Holi or Holi. I've talked about it, I think, on the 1st of March, this video. Today is, the video is on the 4th of March, which is both my daughter and my father's birthday. So happy birthday. They don't watch, but happy birthday to those. Although it's actually really only I think the 2nd of March, because I just like to try and make videos and get ahead. But I wanted to show you, I've made my legs for this guy. And as you can see, his pants has got a splash of colour, just like in the photo. So he's got 2 legs and he's got 2 arms. And I really do like this design because of the little thumb. And that lets you know that that's goes on this side and that goes on that side. And it's funny because when the pattern talks about the left and right, I always had to stop and think, do they mean my left and right? Or do they mean as I'm looking at the character? Because as I'm looking at him, this is the left and this is the right. But this is in my right hand and this is in my left. But anyway, I work it out. It's not a big deal. So he's got legs and arms, but sadly still no name. So if you can think of a name for this guy that, you know, might suit him. I think initially say, you know, he probably could do with an Indian name because it is an Indian festival. But I've got to tell you, he's not giving me Indian name vibes. Just going to raise this to see if I can get a bit more natural lighting. Oh, yes. Okay. So I'm thinking maybe he's a tourist who's gone to India for the festival. Because to me, he looks like a Pablo. But I'm open for suggestions. Please, after you hit the like button, go down into the comments. If you want to win him when he's finally finished, say I would like to win the paint thrower or the powder paint thrower or whatever. I'd like to win the amigurumi, if indeed you do want to win him when I'm finished with him. But also, perhaps give me just an inkling of what you think he needs to be called. I'm liking Pablo, even though that's, Spanish? Is it Spanish? Pablo the powder paint thrower. But I don't want to call him Raj, the powder paint thrower. Even though Raj is a very popular Indian name, he just doesn't give me Raj vibes. I don't know. But anyway, so that's the progress I've made on that. I've made very, very, very minimal progress on my flip book socks. In fact, the progress is so minimal, all I've actually done is select the colours. Because, hang on, that's a little bit better for colour, for lightness, I think. I found these in my Yarn Club stockpile, And because I think I said on Monday that I needed a solid and a variegated to make the design that the man who lives in my phone had given me based on selecting random numbers. If you don't know what I mean, go back and have a look at on the 1st of March, where I actually select the pattern I'm going to make. Now, with this second pair of socks that I am actually going to make, I've decided, provided it's good enough, it will go to charity. I will donate it to KOGO, which is knit one, give one. And that's just a play on the words knit one, purl one. So you knit one and then you give it, you give one. Lisa from Lisa Knits and Vlogs, or Lisa Vlogs and Knits. Why can I never remember that? I'm sorry, Lisa. I'll put her in the description box. I might have to make a note of that. I'll put her in the description box. I will make a note because I will forget. Lisa, there you go. She donates almost everything I think she makes every year into the to KOGO, and I think that's brilliant. Last year she donated, I think she had over 120 ball bands, where she'd used that many ball bands or that many balls throughout the year, and she'd used like something like 33,000 meters worth of yarn, and you can up that a lot for to go into yards. Anyway, so the pattern I chose, or the pattern that my man in my phone chose, needed a variegated and a solid, and I was thinking I don't have many solids, but then I remembered I had this one, so that's going to be for my second pair of socks. Still waiting on Stephen West to drop the pattern for the month of March. I don't think it'll be long. Today is the 2nd of March, but you won't see this until the 4th of March, which, if I haven't said, is my daughter and my father's birthday. Now, and you might remember this as well from the 1st of March's video, where I unraveled some of this and decided I was going to put a border on it. And I've already started, and I'm just doing half double crochet at the moment with 2 half double crochet, chain 1, 2 half double crochet in the corners. I've chosen purple because I like purple, and I'm actually going to be keeping this. This is made with Bendigo wool, 100% super merino, so this is washable. I'm going to link Bendigo Woolen Mills in the description. I better write that down too, otherwise I'll forget it. And you can see what they do have. Keep in mind, if you do go there and you're looking at the prices and thinking, wow, this is way, way overpriced, keep in mind 2 things. Most of the skeins, balls, donuts, whatever you want to call them, they sell, most of them, not all, but most, are 200-gram balls, which is 7 ounces, I think. No, not 7 ounces, 3.5 ounces, I think. It's a lot. It's about this, it weighs more than it weighs double almost your Red Heart variegated Super Savers, I think. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, and of course it's in Australian dollars, which if you're in the UK, you can halve the price to get pounds approximately. And if you're in the US, you can look at the price and you can look at and work out what 2/3 of the price would be, and that's approximately what you would be paying if you're in the US. And yes, they do send overseas, so that's what I'm sort of tackling here. So I've started, I'm just doing a row of half double crochets because I like half double crochets. For me, they flow nice and easily. And I don't know what else I'm going to do. I thought I might do some V's, and stack some V stitches above, just to create a nice sort of lacy looking type border. I'm not worried if this becomes a ruffly border, so if the V stitches make it sort of wavy, I'm not concerned about that. I'll only be worried if it cups, if it sort of curves in, then I'll have to do something to make it sort of lay flat again. But I don't think I'm not gonna have that problem, I don't think. I think it's just gonna work out fine. I think it'll be a little bit wavy, if at all. And then hopefully I'll have it finished, and there'll be another Ladufo, long overdue UFO that long-term overdue unfinished object that I can call finished. And that's why I frogged the part of it to put a border on it so that I can call it quits, so I can say it's done. It will be big enough to cover my toes and my lap for the winter that's coming up our way soon, but not soon enough. I'm really looking forward to winter, as many of you may know, even autumn. But yeah, so there we go. So that's what I'm going to try and do here. A nice lacy type border. The winner of the last month's amigurumi was chosen, and that was Diane Major. She has been in contact with me. So, that will be all sorted and posted and sent out to her. I have finished my project for Battle of the Stitches. I can't show you, obviously, because on Wednesday, which is tomorrow, the Battle of the Stitches stitch reveal will be revealed. There'll be a short tutorial on how to create the stitch, and then the following Wednesday you'll be able to see a sneak peek of the project I did make. Then the following Wednesday after that I will reveal it, and I've already made it and done all those videos and they're all ready to go. So, but I can't show you, unfortunately, that finished object, even though it is a finished object. I started it and finished it, I think, on the 1st, which was handy. I'm getting lots of lovely suggestions about hooker versus hooker ideas of what to create. Sadly, many of them, unless I make it a very unrealistic coloured thing, it's not gonna, the colours are very difficult. I think we've got black and white, which I thought easy. That could be an eyeball if I decide to do a fish or an octopus or whatever. A black and white can just be the eyeball. But then it's yellow, purple and green. And yeah, yellow, purple and green. I've got a few ideas. People have thrown a few ideas at me, which I'm sort of thinking about. We'll see. I might even end up just, designing something completely on my own. Just maybe an underwater monster that has bizarre stripes or something stupid. Who knows? That could just as easily happen. I have been working and thinking about whoops, my what I call back burner projects. A lot of them have gone on to the back burner just because I've got, you know, my beginning month projects. I will be doing 2 pairs of socks this month, and I've only got the pattern for 1 so far. Stephen West should drop the next one, I would imagine, sometime in the next couple of days. So I've had to put aside my top-down, not variegated, Fair Isle jumper for the time being, which is fine. There's no rush on that one really. And yeah, so, oh, and my socks, that's the other thing I was going to mention. I was debating whether I should have mentioned it or not. I do want to create a pattern for crocheted socks, and there are a lot out there, and there are a lot of critiques out there how they don't give enough stretch, they don't, you know, they're not, you know, they're just not stretchy enough, they just don't give enough, and unless you're actually making it for your foot, or a foot that you've got handy next to you all the time that you can sort of measure it on and adjust the sizing, they don't sort of really fit well. You know, there's a lot of people saying that there's not a lot of give in it, and that's just by the nature of the crochet stitch, I think. Whereas the knit stitch does give, and the purl stitch gives. There's a lot of stretch, both, you know, like this are stretched only so far, and this will, you know, only stretch so far. Well, with socks, you sort of need both working at the same time, and you can't get that with a crocheted fabric or just a normal crochet fabric. So I think, you know, you need to sort of find a fabric that will stretch and a yarn which will stretch. And I have got in my big totes here some stretchy sock yarn, and it must have spandex or whatever it is called inside it, because it stretches, and it stretches a lot, unlike normal sock yarn which just has the nylon. This has the nylon, but also something to make it stretch. I can't look at the ball band because pretty much none of my ball bands, or none of my sock yarn comes with ball bands, because most of it is what I've got from opening mill-end bags, which are just, as you know, never come with labels, or at least they don't come with labels here. Very rarely do they come with a label here. If they do, it's a mistake. So I've got all these stretchy type yarns. I don't even know if they're still available. I need to look around. But I think if you can use find a yarn that has stretch in it and a pattern which will give a lot of stretch to it. You don't need the stretch so much, I don't think, lengthways, like going from the toe to the heel. You don't need the stretch so much that way as you need it widthways, so that it goes over the gusset and the instep and all the rest of it. And that's where you need it most. So you need a sort of pattern design that that does all that. So KOGO Potlova has actually done what I consider a brilliant, I haven't actually made it, but just reading the pattern, it looks like a brilliant crocheted sock pattern. I'll put a link to that as well in the description. KOGO. And she's created this pattern the way I would have created it. she's looked at a knitting pattern and gone, right, I'm going to make this knitted pattern into a crochet pattern. So basically I don't know whether she's an actual knitter or not. I don't think I've ever seen anything that she's knitted. But who knows, she may be a knitter and I've just not seen any of her knitting stuff. But yeah, it's very clever. And, you know, it's how I would have tackled the problem. I would have used just a generic, easy, what they call vanilla sock pattern, and just converted that into a crochet pattern. But I've heard people who have made it and still said it doesn't stretch enough. And I think she's only done it in one size according to the reviews I've heard on this, but I don't know. I think Olga tends to do tutorials on pretty much anything and everything she makes. So I would be very surprised if there was no video for the pattern on her YouTube channel. But yeah, so bits of fluff everywhere. So that's what I'm trying to work on. I'm trying to think, first I've got to find out if indeed you can still get hold of this sort of stretchy sock yarn, because it does come with nylon as well, but it does stretch. And if you can, then it's worth trying to create a pattern for a sock, crocheted sock with it, because I think if you can use a stretchier yarn, you're going to get more give in the sock in the areas you need to, because I think a lot of the problem with a lot of crochet socks is they're made very large, and they're classified as like bed socks, because they're just really, they're made with a bulkier yarn, made large, so that they're easier to get your foot in and all the rest of it. But what Olga has tried to do, and what I would like to try and do, is create a knitted sock pattern, a crocheted sock pattern that you can actually wear as a normal, like, everyday sock in your sneakers or something. And yeah, that's the goal. So, but like I say, that is on the very, very back burner. So we will see how that continues along. Yeah, so there you have it. That's the update of what of the whips that I'm doing. I hope to get this Ludolfo finished before the end of the week, before Friday. Hang on, let me have a look at the thingos. Before Friday the 7th of March. And that's like 3 days away. And at the same time, I'd also like to have finished, I don't know, Pablo the powder paint thrower. Yeah, I'd like to have him finished by then, and then I should be able to pick up, or have picked up, both of my sock patterns and started on those. Fingers crossed. We can only hope. So thank you for watching. I'll let you all go. I'm going to try and do some lives. I'm trying to organize a way to get that sort of done. But if that doesn't come off, then I'll just do, I'll do some lives still, but just in a different format. That's okay. I mean, it doesn't matter. So yeah, until then, please take care, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.